Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening on a Monday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Well, hey, how are you?
Very good. I thought you'd never ask. I'm doing fantastic. And
Good.
I'm going to be doing even better when we get through the program today because we got so many fun stories. I'm here to tell you that not only am I prepared, but I've pre-read like 90% of these stories.
90%?
Yeah, it's usually more like 9%. But
you're an overachiever today.
I know. And I got a fun story here. A new survey found that more than a quarter of employers have fired workers for misusing email. 1/3 have fired workers for misusing the internet on the job. And 2/3 of the bosses say they monitor internet activity. It's funny that I'm saying this while you're on the internet. What are you doing over there?
Nothing. I'm listening to you.
You're not. You weren't even paying attention to me.
Too.
What was that story about?
It was internet activity, and I was thinking about when I worked at Norwalk, because our boss used to watch what we did on the internet.
Oh. So how did that go?
Fine.
Did you get in trouble for watching the wrong stuff and doing the wrong stuff?
Nobody did ask me why I was looking up sex offenders. What? One time.
Why were you?
Because there was somebody I suspected of being a sex offender, and I was checking to see if he was on the list.
So was I on the list?
No, it was not
wasn't
you.
me? Okay.
No.
Coming up, we got a fun story about an entrepreneur and some interesting fishy wine. Oh, yeah, that is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com.
If you're selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. So what do you have to lose? And if you're buying an RV, you got to find the great deals at RVWheelator.com.
Now back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
You like wine.
I love wine.
What is your favorite kind of wine?
I like dry reds, so...
It's like a dry red wine. I don't know what color
I like
this...
Pinot Noirs a lot.
Would you like some tuna wine?
No.
Would you like some beluga wine? Sun Kerman, an entrepreneur from China, formed the Dalian Fisherman Song Maritime Biological Brewery to make wine out of fish. Yeah. The fish will be cleaned and boiled and fermented. And the news agency from China says that the fish wine is nutritious and low in alcohol. The company has already gotten orders from Japan and Russia and China.
Why would anybody drink wine that is low in alcohol?
I know.
Isn't
It's
that
low,
the point?
low in alcohol and is nutritious. Are you sure this is wine?
Yeah. I don't see the point in this.
They're fermenting fish and drinking it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they need to try something that tastes good. Because if fish wine does not sound good to me.
No, I would not.
All right, we got a story.
Unless they just mean it pairs well with fish.
Oh, no, it is fish wine.
No.
Coming up, we're going to talk about
I would drink that.
a girl who married her mother. Well, it's a long story. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I heard it on the radio, so it's got to be true, right? Mike Carroll is a soldier in the United States Armed Forces, and he loved Sabrina Clark so much he wanted to marry her. There was a little bit of a trouble, though. He was stationed in Germany, and Sabrina was in Montana. He was not allowed to call to Montana to get married over the phone, so what's the solution? Find a stand-in to play the groom. Fortunately, Montana is the only state in the U.S. of A. that will allow a marriage to take place without the bride and the groom being able to communicate with each other, even without a phone connection. Yeah, in Montana. The stand-in? Sabrina's mother. Yeah. Lee O'Keefe was Sabrina's mother, and Sabrina married her own mother in order to be legally married to her husband, Mike. He, again, is a soldier stationed in Germany. Instead of Mike marrying Sabrina, his future mother-in-law did the standing in for him. And it's interesting they do that. That's something you can do in Montana. I've never heard of that.
But could you just marry anybody then? Do they have to know about it?
I'm assuming they need to know about it.
It's got to be paperwork and
I'm
stuff,
sure.
right?
Yeah, but you don't have to be in the same room at the same time. So I'm sure you're wondering the same thing I was wondering when I first read this story. What happens when they say you may now kiss the bride? Right?
She had to kiss her mom.
No, here's what happened. I did some research because I thought, wait a minute, this sounds a little hokey here. True story. So when you get to what happens when you get to the kiss the bride part, Sabrina kissed a photo of Mike, her husband now, and Mrs. O'Keefe, her mother, kissed her daughter on the cheek.
Aw. That's kind of sweet, really.
It is. So you marry your mama. Huh. That's an interesting way to get married, I guess.
It definitely is.
Coming up, we're going to head to Holland and talk about a guy that was really, couple more reallys, really drunk for our segment, Your Brain on Drugs. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is Your Brain on Drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help. Go to KeystoneTreatment.com.
You can also call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-800-992-1921.
And this is Your Brain on Drugs. A 44-year-old driver in Holland was stopped by the police because they thought he was driving a little weird, kind of erratic. So they did a little alcohol breath. He had so much alcohol on his breath that he broke the breathalyzer.
Whoa.
Sometime later, so he had a little chance for some of this to settle out of his system, the police had a doctor come to the scene and give him a blood test, which showed him 7 times the legal limit of alcohol in his blood. The guy was very, very fortunate that he didn't die.
I didn't even know you could break a breathalyzer.
Apparently. I failed a breathalyzer test one time. It's not what you think, though, because I'm not much of a drinker. They thought maybe I was drinking because there were other people drinking. It was late at night, and they handed me the breathalyzer and told me to blow in it. And he said, blow this, and I was holding it way out. It's hard to translate on the radio, but I was holding it way out here, and I blew on it. And the guy just started laughing. He's like, you've never done this before? I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I failed it because I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
It was fun.
You might be a dork.
Yeah, pretty much. Coming up, we've got a moment of duh that is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVWheelator.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
You ever do something really stupid and afterwards you just think, man, what was I thinking?
Never.
Well, I do it all the time.
Never.
If you ever do this and get caught, you might just end up on this segment, our moment of duh. In Sweden, there was a family whose home was attacked by the Swedish cavalry. Yeah.
I didn't know cavalry is.
Yeah, that's what they call it. It's the group is called, they're military commandos from Sweden's K3. It'd be like our Navy SEALs or Army Rangers. It's like the highest division.
Okay.
So they blew up the wrong house. Oops. They were doing a little training exercise. The military purchased a home for these attack drills. So one night they were doing their terrifying night assaults on a home. They accidentally blew up a home 200 yards away from the home they bought.
Oh, no.
Fortunately, the home was not occupied at the time. The people were gone, so it didn't kill them. Otherwise, it surely would have. It says here, we've already cleaned up after ourselves, and of course, we've contacted the owner. They say there's no hard feelings. Would you, if you had hard feelings, admit it to the people who blew up your house?
Probably not.
Like, there's no hard feelings. No, really.
No,
just
it's
please.
all right. It's okay. Please just don't come back.
Please don't blow up our hotel room, too. All right, coming
I
up.
would assume the government's going to pay for it.
Well, yeah. Then maybe they just gave them the other house that they were going to blow.
You're going to have this one instead.
Good news. We had the Rangers pick up all the pieces of your furniture.
Good
They
news
moved
is
you
you
in.
only have to move 200 yards down the road.
What was left of your furniture is already in the house. We've got your scoop of the day on the way.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by Rough Tough Kennels.
If you have a puppy or a big dog, Rough Tough Kennels has something that's just right for you. They have kennels that are strong enough that I can stand on top of them, but they're cozy enough for your furry little best friend. Learn more and see the different sizes available at roughtoughkennels.com.
That's RUFF, toughkennels.com.
Time now for the scoop of the day, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio. There was apparently a drunken bar fight over the weekend in Huddersfield, England. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Police were looking for the owner of an ear, complete with a diamond stud. It was a left ear, and it was laying on the sidewalk. So if you're missing your left ear, reach out to the officers in Huddersfield, England.
Was Mike Tyson in Huddersfield,
I don't
England?
think so. In other news, a Florida man is suing a hospital for emotional distress, saying his leg was amputated and thrown in the garbage with his name tag still on it. His lawsuit states, rather than properly disposing of the plaintiff's limb as expected and as requested by Florida law, the doctor's hospital, that's the name of the hospital, threw the plaintiff's amputated limb into the garbage with tags indicating that it belonged to the plaintiff. So there you go.
First of all, the name of the hospital alone
Doctor's
might
Hospital.
want to tell you, maybe we should be looking elsewhere for our medical care.
They're so creative.
That's all
here.
they could come up with. Well, there's doctors here.
Let's call it
And
Doctor's
it's a
Hospital.
hospital. I know. How about Doctor's Hospital?
All right. And he's upset that they threw his leg away. Was it supposed to come off? At least it was supposed to come off.
It's supposed to come off,
This
but
thing-
they're supposed to properly dispose. You don't just toss somebody's leg in the
I don't know.
garbage
What are they
can.
supposed to do? Grind it up? I have no idea what the proper protocol is.
Well, where do you think hospital food comes from?
Oh, no. Don't do that. My grandmother worked in a cafeteria at a hospital for a long time, and it's good food. I'm just telling you. Hey, a car vanished from a Wisconsin area, Lake Hallie. I think that's the name of how you say this. And just hours later, it showed back up at the home, and it was refilled with gas. They have no idea who took it. Somebody borrowed their car, and when they were done, they filled it up with gas and brought it home.
Well, they must have needed.
Yeah,
a
so they
vehicle
reached
for a
out to the
while.
police and said, hey, somebody stole our car. And then, like, a couple hours later, they're like, oh, it's back, and it's full of gas.
That's nice.
I want to do that now. I want to go
So
take somebody's car and fill it
clearly
with gas.
needed a car, and then they thought,
be.
hey, let's consider this the rental vehicle
There you
price.
go.
They
Hey,
probably didn't have a credit card.
And-
Because you can't rent a car without a credit card.
Yeah, I don't know how all that works. All I know is don't just take it. Ask them first. An internal investigation of the TSA revealed security failures at dozens of the nation's busiest airports. Undercover investigators were able to smuggle a mock explosive in, banned weapons they were able to carry
Whoa.
through in 95% of their attempts. That's not good. Their series
Whoa.
of tests were conducted by Homeland Security red teams who pose as passengers, and they set out to beat the system. According to the officials briefed on the results of their Homeland Security inspection, TSA agents failed 67 out of 70 tests.
Oh.
Yikes.
That's
Red
not
team
good.
members repeatedly were able to get potential weapons through checkpoints. Meanwhile, when we go through the airport, I see them, patting down everybody. Little old ladies, people like me, everybody. It's almost like it's I guess it is their job. So
It's almost like it's their job.
almost like it's their job. What is their job? There's a shortage of anesthesiologists in America. So much so, hospitals are asking colleges to encourage students to step up to be an anesthesiologist. So if you're looking for something to do, maybe that's it.
But didn't we just read not too long ago that there's now a machine
Well, they're
that's
working-
going to do it?
No.
So why
They're
would
working-
you spend all that money to get a degree doing
Here's
it,
why.
knowing you're going to be replaced?
They're working on a machine because they don't have enough people. That's like the bugle. If you go to a military funeral, there are a lot of bugle players that don't play bugles. Let me say that again. There's no longer... I don't think that came out right. There's not as many bugle players, so they actually have an automated bugle. You just hold it up to your lips and push a button because they don't have enough people. So they invented that because there was a lack of bugle players, just like they're working on this anesthesiology machine because there's a lack of anesthesiologists. All right. Let's just move on to our strange law. I think I'm done. In Mississippi, it's still legal to kill a servant. So if you have a servant in Mississippi, well, let's rephrase that. If you are a servant in Mississippi, you might
may
want to
wanna
be
move.
nice. No, you might want to be really, really, really nice. This has been your Scoop of the Day, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
The John and Heidi Show podcast is brought to you by DirecTV.
They have big-time savings going on right now, so you can sign up and save. Get all the details at 1-800-259-7646.
Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com.
Quite possibly the best way to buy an RV or to sell an RV. They're like a realtor for your RV. Check out RVRealtor.com.
And the Dollar Shave Club.
Get amazing razors for $1 a month, and for a few bucks more, they'll bring them right to your door.
Sign up today at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
Thank you so much for listening on a Monday. And when we don't have a guest, I get to do a second scoop. It's always fun. And there was some stuff I didn't get to because I was kind of a knucklehead during the first scoop. So, Homeland Security's back in the news here. They were asking they asked a group of science fiction writers to help them try to dream up ways that a terrorist might attack America. So they said, be as creative as you can. Let us know what you would do. So that's kind of cool. That's a good group of people to ask because, the people that come up with books about the subject, I think that's a very smart idea.
Yeah.
It's a decision that millions of Americans face every morning. To take or not to take. when it comes to the multivitamin. Now, a new study of about 15,000 men over the age of 50 suggests that popping that daily supplement could cut your cancer rates by at least 8%.
You know what? We keep buying vitamins.
I know.
We never really take them.
I should start taking those.
We have a whole cupboard full of vitamins.
I know. I should actually start taking those.
I know. We should.
Hey, June is wedding month. I've got some info here about weddings. Do you want to talk about more silly stories or what all the different things in weddings have to do with, like carrying the bride over the threshold, the bride's veil, the groomsman, the bridal train?
I don't care.
Do you want to talk about that or you want more silly stories? It's up to you. You get to steer.
Let's do silly stories.
Okay. Well,
I like the silly stories.
Well, let's turn the page and get to the silly stories then. How about this one over here? If you want to know how long Grandpa is going to live, check out the pace of his walking. A report in the Journal of American Medical Association found a strong correlation between the walking speed and your expected survival rate for people over the age of 65. Analysis from 9 studies show faster walking speeds among older adults was associated with an increase in length of survival. Huh. So good news. Our son is going to live forever. Oh, my goodness.
We can't keep up with that boy.
We went to an event with him not too long ago, and he was at least a block ahead of us at any given time. And I'm like, can you slow down? He's like, I'm just walking. He's got such long legs.
He does.
I'm like, just slow down. Moving on, a 102-year-old woman from Germany will be getting a belated gift. It's her PhD. How belated, you might ask? Well, she was turned away 77 years ago by the university officials. You know why?
Why?
Because she's Jewish.
Oh.
Yeah, 77 years ago, they said, no, you don't get your PhD. According to ABC, pediatrician, Inborg Cilium Rapport, I'm sure I said all of that right, she'll have a ceremony in her honor, at the University of Hamburg on June 9th. Rapport had finished her thesis on diphtheria back in 1937 or 1938. That's when she was to be getting her diploma. She was not given her diploma because her mother was Jewish, and they said, no diploma for you.
That's too bad.
Yeah, she didn't get it. We talked earlier about a guy that was...
These are not silly stories. You said you were going to tell me some silly stories.
You ready for a silly story?
I'm ready for silly. These are all very sad stories.
What was sad about that?
About
She's getting her diploma
turned
finally.
away because she was Jewish. That's
She's
not
finally
nice.
getting her diploma. That is happy.
Yeah, but she had
happiness.
to wait. And what's she going to do with it now?
Well, she's probably going to get a really good job. She's 102.
I'm just saying.
Think of all the work experience she has. All right, I got one here that's going to make Heidi happy. We talked earlier about a guy that was so drunk he broke the breathalyzer.
Yes.
I don't know how drunk this guy was, but this is hilarious. Police say there was a man that set up a fake DUI checkpoint. He set up his own. He just started pulling people over and checking them to see if they were drunk. When the police finally got there, they discovered that this drunk driving checkpoint, complete with road flares, by the way, was put on by a man who was pretending to be a Pennsylvania state trooper while he was completely intoxicated.
Oh.
So he was completely hammered, parked on the side of the road, pulling people over to see if they were also completely hammered.
Maybe he was trying to arrange a party.
I'm drunk. You drunk?
Are you drunk? Let's get together.
Yeah, that's probably not the best time to do something like that. I wasn't thinking that one all the way through. And after hearing this story, I predict there are going to be a couple of folks in our audience who ask their sweetheart to go for a little jog.
Okay.
Take a listen to this. Couples who do this together have a little more hanky-panky together. If you want to ignite your sex life with your spouse, you're supposed to go for a run. Survey says 66% of runners have more nookie with their running partner than people who don't run.
Really?
Yeah, so want to go for a run?
We don't run.
I know we don't. That is very evident. We don't run. We don't even walk fast. All right, this has been your second scoop. Thanks for listening on a Monday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Today is a very special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
Today is Monday, the 8th day of June. Wow.
I know. How is that possible?
We're cruising through this month. Today is Upsy Daisy Day. I just like to say that. Upsy Daisy. I thought it was Oopsie Daisy.
I thought it was Oopsie Daisy, too.
It's Upsy. UPSY. Would that be Upsy or would that be Oopsie?
That'd be Upsy.
All right. Well, Oopsie daisy?
Oopsie is O-O-P-S-Y.
Maybe this is just an alternate way to spell oopsie. Oopsie daisy, upsie daisy,
Anyway.
either waysy, happy daisy. So it's also World Oceans Day. So how many oceans are there, Heidi?
2.
Really? And what are the names of those oceans?
Atlantic and the Pacific.
Really? Can you be more Pacific? What about the Indian Ocean?
And the Indian Ocean.
And that one too?
3.
Yeah. Geographically challenged. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about a really cool thing that a graduating class recently did at graduation. I mean, really cool. It's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVWheelator.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Thank you so much for listening on a Monday. For those of you listening a little bit ago, it is World Oceans Day, and we were talking about how many oceans there were. Heidi said there were 2. I think, honestly, you could officially say there's really just 1. It's all connected. I mean, how do you divide? But the official answer, by the way, is 4. She had mentioned
You know what?
Atlantic,
I love how you're
Pacific,
sitting here sounding
Indian,
all
Arctic.
righteous and
Google told me so.
super smart. But as soon as we got done with that last break, he goes, I don't know how many oceans there are either.
I didn't
Let's
know.
look that up. I'm like, seriously, you go on the radio and sound all high and mighty trying to make me
Hey,
sound.
I feel like Alec Trebek.
I did know there was more than 2, but I didn't know how many, so
Yeah,
I just
well.
kind of threw out a low number.
Listen to this. Graduating class at a New Hampshire high school is giving the money they raised for their class trip to the principal who was diagnosed with cancer.
I read that online. Isn't that neat?
The principal was diagnosed with cancer. They had raised some money for a little trip. They raised about almost $8,000, and they decided, you know what? We don't really need to do this. They were going to go to a 4-day trip at a ranch in upstate New York, and when they found out that she had been diagnosed with cancer, a rare, aggressive form of cancer, the class unanimously voted to give that money to her instead to help with medical expenses. So that is awesome.
That is very cool.
I really feel like, you know, when you read stories like that there is hope for our next generation. Mm-hmm. That there are kids out there that say, you know what, I care more about you than I do about me going on a silly vacation. And kids, you know what? I think it would be really cool if people in that area said, you guys are going on vacation too.
You know what, though, really, if you think about how that all went down, there's only one probably really good kid in that class that brought
convinced
that
everybody
up.
else.
And everybody else, you don't want to be the one jerk said, no, I want to go on the trip.
Okay, wait. Everybody's giving except for Mike. He's still going camping.
Mike voted no.
All right, coming up, going to talk about a prisoner that says he's the Messiah. That is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
The Messiah has been found in Michigan, and he's in prison.
Of course he is.
That makes me doubt that he's the Messiah. A Michigan prisoner is suing the prison where he's being held for the right to come and go as he pleases. Why? He says he's the Messiah. He thinks he is Jesus. Chad DeKoven has been in prison for 20 years for armed robbery charges. You know, in the book
Just
of
like
Luke.
Jesus did.
Yeah, in the book of Luke where, you know, Jesus was robbing places. No, he never did that. He didn't do that. So I don't think this guy is Jesus. He argues that he cannot possibly be guilty of robbery because he owns everything on earth. DeKoven
was simply taking back what is rightfully mine.
DeKoven has filed 14 similar suits in the past, all of which have been dismissed. So there you go. That is just sad.
If he were the Messiah, wouldn't he just get himself out of prison?
I suppose. Roll away the stone.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on. Thanks for listening on a Monday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club.
You can get razors every month for just $1. And for $2 more, they'll bring them right to your door. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more.
That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
I'm on Twitter. You're on Twitter. I don't do much on Twitter.
I'm not on Twitter.
You are
I
too.
have a Twitter account,
There
but
you go.
I don't ever go on
I go on there once in a while. I don't
The
get
only
it a whole
time I
lot.
go on there is when I want to see what Brian Regan is posting.
Well, for those of you that are on Twitter, would you ever consider getting married on Twitter?
No.
They have a new thing called Periscope. I don't even know what that is. I'm not on that. Whatever it is, I'm not on there. But according to the Huffington Post, a couple who met on Twitter, Brianna and Kyle, they met 3 years ago through Twitter. It's only fitting that they incorporate their relatives and loved ones in their upcoming nuptials through Twitter's live streaming service Periscope. It says we have a bunch of people in different countries and other states that can't make it to the wedding, so we thought with all the live streaming technology out, it's a perfect way to have them at our wedding.
Yeah, that's nice.
So they're getting married and they're having Periscope somehow, whatever that is, broadcast the nuptials. So that's kind of cool. So does that mean I don't need to give you a gift if I just watch it on Periscope?
No, you still have to get a gift.
Darn it. I was going to say, if I get invited to another wedding, just say, hey, just...
you have to send some of those virtual flowers.
Put it on Periscope, and I'll send you something nice. Really nice, virtually. Seriously. All right, we got a fun story coming up. Boys, going to tell you how to impress your girlfriend. And it's not flowers, but it is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
It's a Monday, and we do appreciate you listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in, maybe haven't heard us before, you need to understand, before we get to this story, that the two of us are married. Madly in love with each other for how long now?
15 years.
Yeah. Well, it's almost 16, but nobody's really counting over here on this side of the counter. So.
It's not almost 16.
We're sneaking up on 16 years.
Not until next February.
Well, or 15 and a half at least. But boys, if you want to impress your girlfriend, I have the answer for you. You instead of getting flowers, you know what you're supposed to get? According to research, women don't want flowers. They don't want candy. What they want candy. They don't want candy. What they want is gadgets. Instead of shopping for flowers, go to Radio Shack if they still have one in your neighborhood. I've noticed a lot of those are closing. It could be a better investment for your relationships. As women, were wired up to a machine to gauge their reactions to certain gifts. So it wasn't like they were saying, oh, I'd rather have this, but I'd really rather have that. They were wired up to find out what their real reaction was.
Okay. But if you give somebody a Snickers bar, or you give them a brand new state-of-the-art cell phone, obviously the reaction is going to be a little bit different. Why don't we gauge the difference there between a gadget and, say, diamond earrings and see what the difference is?
Let's take a listen here. It says the traditional gifts got a good response, but it was the high-tech toys that got the best reactions. In fact, the majority of women tested said that their love life suffered because they did not have their mobile phones or Palm Top. What is a Palm Top computer?
I have no idea. In
case you're wondering what kind of gift is best, turn page, because I printed this bad. The biggest reaction with women was the study when they were given a DVD player.
Whatever. That is so ridiculous. It was clearly a guy with a bag of potato chips doing this study.
Next, what if we give her a puppy?
Yeah, I mean, they must have tried only candy and flowers and gadgets because all the women I know, if you're talking gifts, gift cards would be awesome. Let me go get my own shoes and
there you go.
Clothes or jewelry is amazing. You can't go wrong with jewelry.
You heard it here first, folks. One more time, clearly defined, absolutely, positively clear as mud. We have no clue what the heck to get. But we do appreciate you listening to the John and Heidi Show.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by Rough Tough Kennels.
If you have a puppy or a big dog, Rough Tough Kennels has something that's just right for you. They have kennels that are strong enough that I can stand on top of them, but they're cozy enough for your furry little best friend. Learn more and see the different sizes available at roughtoughkennels.com.
That's RUFF, toughkennels.com.
Almost time to say goodbye, but before we go, I have some interesting and insane ways to save money. You ready for this?
I am ready.
You like to save money.
I love to save money.
A recent competition in New Zealand was looking for the thriftiest shopper. They asked contestants for their very best money-saving tips. And replies ranged from the practical to the absurd. Some of these might help you save money, and maybe even, gas money, whatever money. So, did you know, if your microwave is broken, you can still use it?
No.
You can use it for something else. Somebody used their broken microwave as a litter box.
Ew.
Yeah. If you are on hard times and are trying to figure out how you can get by on a slimmer budget, somebody that submitted their input to this contest said, I got rid of my house and I lived in a tent.
I'm not that thrifty.
You could cut back on house payments that way. It says here, when walking through a store, keep your hands in your pockets at all times. All times. That way you won't accidentally pick something up that you really don't need. If you want to save money, according to this story, cut your own hair. That really depends. I do. It's pretty simple. I just cut it really short. If I was going to try to do some sort of fancy style that looked good,
you need a haircut again.
I know I do. It's getting kind of shaggy.
It is.
It's funny because I got like 3 stages. I've got too short, which is what it is for like the first week, and then too long, which is what it is for like the last week, and then for like 1 day somewhere in the middle, it looks almost okay.
Yeah.
It looks. I'm not saying good. It looks almost okay. All right, if you'd like to treat pimples, instead of using all those fancy things, you're supposed to use garlic. That's supposed to do a really good job treating pimples. Huh. How about, those boil-in-the-bag meals?
Yeah.
You can do them in the dishwasher. So
Why?
If you have a broken oven, I don't know. Or maybe you could do them while you're doing last night's dishes. But they're saying the heat in the dishwasher, you can actually put things in a Ziploc bag and throw them in there. It doesn't have to be Ziploc, any brand, I suppose. And there you go. And if you want to save money, instead of, taking the dog to the groomer and doing all the expensive, treatments and whatnot, they say you're supposed to bring your dog in the shower with you. I'm just imagining how much our dogs would love that. If you have a cat, this doesn't work so hot. All right, this is going to do it for the program. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening on a Monday.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And it's time now for the bonus break, brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. If you would like to have razors delivered right to your door, it's $1 a month for the twins. They're really nice. I gave those to Troy, by the way, because I've got the executives, and he kept stealing my razor.
I know.
So I swapped them out.
I saw that.
So I gave him the humble twin. But those are $1 a month plus $2 shipping, so it's $3 a month, and you're in awesome razors for a whole month. So it's a really, really good deal. They'll bring them right to you. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio. And why the reason they sponsor the bonus break, quite often they slip a little something extra in that package when you get it. You get some cute little thing. Like I got a tiny little tube of hair gel the other day. We were just talking about how awful my hair looks right now. It's because I didn't use any hair gel. I should probably try that. Maybe tomorrow I'll do that and I'll look somewhat reasonable. Again, learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio. And we've got our bonus break today. We're going to talk about the rainbow connection, Heidi. So if you want to get people to experience a certain emotion, you're supposed to make sure that you have the right colors around. It says here, people are more inclined to do certain tasks, and it'll be easier if you surround that person with the appropriate colors. So what color is our room here?
White.
I don't see white on the list even. So let's pretend it's red. No, it says the latest psychological research says specific colors can turn on different brain circuits, attracting the perfect attitude for success in any of your endeavors. Here's how you can use the rainbow. If you put red in your workspace, I got some red right here. There's some red over there.
Okay.
There's red on that thing over there. It says here, if you like more gratitude for your gifts and appreciation for your abilities, wear clothes in red, scarlet, or cherry. Brilliant shades of admiration. Neurologists say red is the most vibrant, eye-catching color in the rainbow. So if you wear red, you'll have more gratitude. People seem to appreciate you more if you wear red. Pink. This is the traditional color of romance. Pink encourages a sense of soothing familiarity and relaxation. That's why so many emergency rooms use pink on their walls. Really? I thought it was just white, and they wiped the blood off. It's also the perfect shade for encouraging passion in your closest relationship. So, ladies, gentlemen, if you want to, get jiggy with it, you're supposed to wear pink. Do the kids still say that? I
don't think so.
Did the kids ever say that? Okay. Purple. If you like the color purple and you like wearing... Your shirt's kind of purple.
I'm wearing purple today.
Hubba. You look good. The color of money is not green. It's violet. Color expert Antonia van der Venheesen says, bring better finances by keeping a purple plant in a pot somewhere that you can see every day. As it grows, so will your bank account. Purple was the color of kings in ancient times, and it seems to have been built a fundamental link of feelings of power and prosperity.
I see.
Do you feel rich over there right now?
No.
You look wealthy. Hubba, hubba. Nice. Blue.
You're such a spaz.
I know. Blue is the color of open skies, and it inspires us to higher things. Keep blue objects in your favorite reading room to turn on your inner wisdom. Scientists say to switch to the intuitive right side of your brain, you're supposed to have blue there as well. The wavelength of color in blue encourages your brain to work at peak efficiency, according to psychologist Dr. Alan Thompson. Green. Harmony follows the color of growing things. Use shades of lime and emerald and jade in your family room or in your conference room at work to bring everyone closer together as a team. Green. We need more green. I got some right over here, and we got over there a plastic plant next to each of us.
We do.
Do you like those?
No.
Do you like where I put those?
No.
Are you going to move those?
It's in front of my file cabinet. I can't get in and out of the drawers.
That was the plan. Quit rifling through those drawers.
Okay.
And finally, yellow. No, I guess we had two. Yellow. Is there more on the back? I hope not. Oh, there are. Yellow. Bright objects make everything feel a little sunnier, boosting the feel-good brain chemical serotonin and attracting a joyous glow. If you need an optimistic mood booster, use yellow objects everywhere that you think you're going to need a little lift. So yellow would be a good one to kind of cheer people up. Silver. Attract helping hands with shiny things, especially when placed by your doors and windows. Scientists say people associate the color of chrome and coins with a sense of reliability. Some experts say it never fails to bring much-needed assistance into your life by having a little silver laying around. And finally, white. It was on the back. We were talking about our white walls here. White is the color of innocence, used to inspire childlike imagination in new, powerful, life-changing ways. So that's why we act like children. All right. That was such an awesome bonus break. I mean,
it was.
Heidi checked her text messages halfway through.
I was like, she this is kind of
ran out and grabbed some coffee in the middle of the blue. It was awesome. I mean, I think you should come up with something really good for tomorrow. You cool with that?
Can I tell dirty jokes?
Do you have one?
I don't, but you said that I couldn't.
I never said that you couldn't. I said you shouldn't. There's a big difference. I don't want to say you can't do things. I'm just saying you shan't do things. Is that a thing?
I will have something
Shan't?
for tomorrow.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to our bonus break, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.